where you're at in the draw and in the lineup and where you're at.
Yeah, like Brian's got a 1 there, so he's probably okay, but we'll
yeah. All right, here we go. Taking a look at this next battle. This is Justin Ruth and Ryan Kaufman. Ruth initiates into that first outside zone. Good attitude there, just coming right into first outside zone 1. And you can see it looks like Kaufman having a little bit of struggle there in the chase position. That Taxi Garage FC RX-7 into that third. Let's see this transition. Kaufman right on the door of him, needs to jump back into that pocket. Oh, and look at, comes across, but the 199
just good to mention, because we don't see that on paper. You don't see Casey Cole doing double duty, but in fact he essentially is with on Team Stuckey.
And this is a must-win here, you know, or beyond the bubble here, especially for Casey Cole. Casey Cole needs a victory here. Otherwise, he's going to look on the outside in as Shelly Hansen continues in that second out. Excuse me, the second outside zone into that third. Nice fluid line from Hansen, and Casey Cole back there quite a bit now, transitioning past the nose of the S chassis and into that final to, you know, lend a hand on a variety of vehicles. You know, he's always out there just helping. How can I do this? What can I do here? E36 chassis chasing down, again, one of your favorites, the Ford Mustang, that Maryland Motor Works. Why are you giggling there? Going to that second outside zone as Magmumi. Look at that E36. We saw how capable these vehicles are from across the pond, and it seems like they are the new S chassis, the parts availability. As Magmumi makes that mistake, announcer's curse being bestowed upon you, Magmumi. I apologize. To the action, no jumping here, no bounce house, just a good time. Shelly Hansen across the nose of Wills. Look at Wills, that straight line approach just drops into formation. Yes, sir, and Shelly Hansen unfazed out front. Oh boy, Wills is just chomping at the bit. Holy cow, looked like he was just getting that thing like a chicken tendy, just ripping in that front bumper. Again, zero chill. And here we go, Heichman will be leading Davis, chasing him down in that first outside zone. Aggressive initiation. Again, this one more time battle, not leaving the judge's hands. Davis, good proximity, but Heichman just getting a little more gangster, a little more aggressive, bringing it into this outside zone, and as aggressive as he is, when it gets in the mud. Way down yonder in the Chattahoochee right there.
And they were able to come out of there, well, unscathed.
Spurs popped out of the back of his Hokas. Like all of a sudden, it was really wild. He turned into a little Mustang cowboy right now.
Speaking of cowboy, we got a little restart here. Jack Davis jumping the gun.
Got bucked off the Bronco right there, brother. All right, Jack Davis, Bystrack. Let's see who advances on into the finals. Jack Davis, the BMW with the clean air. What kind of Bystrack we gonna have attack? Jack Davis, good initiation, good angle from him. Gets into that dirt, he taps it, does not fight back and does not bite back. Into that second outside zone, good positioning by Jack Davis. Bystrack giving him too much room because Jack Davis, let him cook. He's an all-you-can-drift buffet into this last outside zone. He just seems to be really, really exciting. With it just being outside zone 4s, it's really going to highlight, you know, outside zone, excuse me. I think it's really going to highlight some great driving like we're seeing right here. Look at Kaufman, really close in proximity. You can see just the nose of that RX. Oh, he has to back down. So we're going to take a look at that overhead there. What went wrong for Kaufman, or was it Shelly impeding? And now, Hansen comes in. Almost over-rotated that thing.
Davis there. The clean air and see what he can do with that.
All right, so Dempster's out front. He had those mistakes. He knew who he was going against. Cole Richards has that momentum. I talked about that. Will it hurt him? No, obviously not, but you know, the real battle is won here in the chase position. That's going to show driving prowess. And just as I say that, Cole Richards brings it on in. Dempster goes wide, that back left. Looked like he's running definitely some low tire pressure and bringing on in that last outside zone. Cole Richards and Dempster swings it across that yellow. If the spells work, because he's definitely a magician. We'll see how he navigates this S chassis going against Kaufman, who's got that momentum, as you say, from last night. The Fitment Industries vehicle now coming that first outside zone. And you can see Kaufman coming to the second outside zone, chasing him down, but Zielinski locked and loaded. Look at that. I mean, just you can see those Fitment Industries wheels just countered properly, looking good. Outside zone 4, that hump right there, not even playing a role. Zielinski, I mean, that was really, really well done. Could have been deeper now. DJ Stubbsat, you talked about this yesterday in closing, and this should be a fun one. Nate Chen talking about that rising occasion. Stubbsat, definitely a wild card. Now coming into his first outside zone, you can see Chen fixated, eyes on the prize, stub stat. You can see him kind of stabbing back and forth, and now it looks like he found the sweet spot coming to outside zone 3 as Cole Richards, you know, only pretty much 3 transitions here. Can now transition that last outside zone. Chen puts it exactly where it needs to be. Talking about when E36, E46s, and Corvettes, they're like the new S chassis.
Yeah.
You know, so 370Z's peppered in there as well. But here we go. So talking about the commander, he commands attention. So all stand for Josh Stewart. Shelly Hansen, she's going to slide to the side there. In the outside zone 2, and it looks like bangs it in. It comes out of drift. Shelly applies the pressure, and I talked about being a mosh pit, but they're still moving. But we're going to have to take a look here. There was contact. Now, yeah, Cole's got a lot of momentum. He talked about it very systematically with Lorette Nickel. Cole Richards initiates that first outside zone. He does drop a tire there, but that was just barely a tread. Now entering that second outside zone, you see that overhead shot there. Cole Richards brings it on in, a ton of smoke, and Huma Rahimi just navigates through it, not affecting him at all. And this last outside zone brings it in. Cole all the way out to the course edge. Well executed. Designer just definitely got a good head on his shoulders, good personality, and definitely loves his family. So here we go. Colette Davis ripping out of that start chicane, and there's the Fitment Industries BMW, puts it right in there. A lot of dirt being thrown up. That will be a deficit, but it should not hold her back, and it doesn't. Into outside zone 2, and now into outside zone 3. I felt like because she got a little rock and roll, a little rock and rumble through the gravel, she brings it through that last outside zone, sets it and forgets it. And like you said, and here comes Lance through that start chicane. See how he answers. Straight line approach, boom, right into that first outside zone. Jerry Johnson, the flame nose. Now transitioning, look at that, well done by Johnson. The chase, he has to back off a little bit. Looks like might have been some contact, got a nose job there. And now through that third outside zone, transitioning to the last outside zone. Bang, he backs in that Corvette. No doubt that he dropped into that last outside zone. Chen will lead. Alex Jaeger given the chase. Coming to this first outside zone, tip to tail. Look at, Alex Jaeger goes across and gets involved, but stays in it. Both of them thrashing and bashing into that second outside zone. Look at that. It's merely a flesh wound, a bunch of ankles. Here we go to that third outside zone. Nate Chen digs deep. Now into this last outside zone. How are they going to navigate? Boom, both of them put it right in it. Wow. Well done. So it looks like that bash bar just opened, given his position, and Brian Wills chasing him down. All right, let's see what we got. The lights will illuminate and extinguish, and away they go. Brudski got a clean start. The green lights are on, and boom, great aggressive flick. Both of them, and Wills in tow. Transition, tapping that brake real quick. Wills dives in on the inside, but Brudski stays within that second outside zone. Nice clean sweep all the way into outside zone 3. Transition past the hump into the outside zone 4. Right on the course edge goes Brudski, and Wills drops in a 4-8. Okay, so Brudski pulls the line. Looks like Chen tries to pace it. Brudski paces it, and Chen chases him down. Like I said, he needs to do just enough. Brudski, oh man, that, yeah, oh my goodness. And I'll tell you what, I definitely want to run this back. Because I saw some brake lights in places that were very unique. Got the win. Let's lick the stamp and send it. Here we go. Cole Richards, Nate Chen, the finals of round 3 and the Pro Spec Championship. Richards blazing into that first outside. Oh no! Oh boy! Cole Richards shoots over, salvages the car. Chen does not need to complete that run. What is going on? So here is our first battle. Seating brackets, Pro round 5. Trent Beecham will lead that ESR BMW as you saw him stroll their way through the rain. No umbrellas out, sun's out, guns out, or the rain's out, and a little bit of angles out. Here we go. So Trent Beecham in that first outside zone. Here goes Ben Hobson into the second outside zone. You can see navigating there, just tucking in. Good angle there from Trenton Beecham. Now bringing it very fluid into that third outside zone. Beecham throwing up some steam, and Ben Hobson tucked in nicely. This is good practice as you don't know what kind of conditions we are going to be seeing on game day on Saturday. But there goes Beecham crossing the finish line, and look at that, Ben Hobson.
Pretty wet.
Yeah, four, you could see that really becomes, and it's very sketchy going in from 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Because water accumulates right as they, like a quarter of the way into that outside zone, there is a big puddle there. So if you get involved in that, that could throw you into the mud. So right now we're seeing Nick Novak out front, put it into that first outside zone properly. Dmitry Brudski comes up a bit short. Now into that second outside zone. Good proximity from Brudski in the chase position. Into that third outside zone. There goes Novak. You see some corrections from Brudski. Novak slides that back bumper, shredding a little layer there like an onion, but nobody's crying. Coming out last outside zone. There goes Brudski and Novak bringing it on home up. Yep. So if you ever see Matt's,
tickle.
Tickle. Yeah. It's just open dialogue. All right, here we go. And that is not Nick Novak nor Rudy Hansen. It is Dan Burkett and Jack Shanahan. And there it is, the Rat Industries Mark IV Super coming on in. Let's see how Shanahan from the rear handles it with no handbrake. Not getting very handsy, but he is getting that big angle. And Shanahan, look, we don't need no stick and handbrake. Look at this. So, but Dan Burkett, great angle from him, a good lead run. And Shanahan massages it on in. Big angle from Dan Burkett, bringing it on home. And a good effort by both drivers. Loving the flow of this track.
What's to come this weekend, and seating really sets us up for that, but let's take a look.
Here we go, send it, baby. Rat Dan Burkett, Rat Industries, looks like he has really risen to the occasion. As you said it, you really give him a lot of confidence there. Jacob Gettens coming to the second outside zone. Here comes Nick Novak to the side of that Supra. He has to dive back, and now Dan Burkett brings it into that third outside zone, approaching the final. Let's see how he manages, and slides it on in. Hits it, quits it, gets back out. So nerve-wracking battles is top 32. So yeah. as we move on here in our Rockstar entering top 32, Odi Bakshis. Whoa, buddy! That was a two-wheel motion. The dirt grabbed his car, threw it up. That thing looked like he was just about to set sail. And the Evil AutoWorks BMW, that was absolutely insane. That car is slamming down on his field suspension. And keep in mind, Andy Haley did not need to complete the run. Spotted for Federico Sharifo. Might have a little inside communication, utilizing, but obviously not enough. Here we go. Simon Olsen here going against Ryan Turk. Simon Olsen in that Mark V Toyota Supra, now transitioning into that second outside zone. Ryan Turk gripping up. You saw him coming shallow in that second outside zone. Simon Olsen filling all of outside zone 3. Want to see how deep he was. There's that angle that we can definitely all appreciate, including the judges, or most importantly the judges. Now, if we're not great, let's see it again. We want to say, like, that was so good, let's see it again and really rise to the occasion. So we'll see if Derek Madison can do it right now. Now Silver's Coilover Depot S-chassis transition. Oh, look at Connor. All right, well, he says here, I'll watch this transition. So you talked about Jack having that kind of back off. That wasn't the case there. That was more of a similar to his older brother now in his last outside zone. You can see him, looks like D-Mads hit a little beehive there. You saw that. He reminds me, you know, Ken Gucci shares, you know, his nationality. He's American, Japanese. Hiroya, you know, just committing to learning better English. Just his electricity. His enthusiasm is infectious. But Dylan Hughes is as awesome as all is. He wants to take him down. Here we go. That royal purple BMW in that first outside zone, transitioning properly into second outside zone. Hiroya jumping to the side of the BMW. Good angle from Dylan Hughes. The dozer. Look at that. I mean, just deep in outside zone 3. Hiroya dives in on the inside. He straightens out quite a bit of outside zone 4. Want to get that overhead? It's not a surprise that you're going to have to slow down. So you saw a little bit of left foot brake by James Dean. He flicks it in and just finds just past that bump on that wall and clears it. So now Ryan Turk out front. He's got the clean air coming into this first outside zone. Tit for tat right there. Ryan Turk initiates. James Dean tucks in. He was right there. And actually, he was even deeper in that first outside zone. Good proximity, but I'll tell you what, doesn't mimic the exact angle of Ryan Turk and that hot hatchback coming that last outside. So Ryan Turk does it. Executed flawlessly. Well done by Ryan Turk. Slams up the transition and 4. Again, just definitely a tried and true OG veteran in Chris Forsberg.
Yeah, absolutely wild. Yeah, overall matches 447.
Holy cow. Staggering amount of battles there. As Matt Field will lead, Borla Performance initiates straight line approach, goes in, fills that outside zone. Forsberg bathing in smoke, now transitioning into outside zone 2. tucks right in, right behind him. Good angle, both of them keeping it locked and loaded. Outside zone 3, Field a little bit deeper. Then Chris Forsberg down outside zone 4. Matt Field maxing out the angle, brings it across, and Forsberg dropped into formation. So look at that, Forsberg's extinguished, and Adam LZ will lead. Jack Shanahan, I expect a big gangster entry, really risking it in that BMW in the chase position. Bang, right there, look at that. Old school, new school, and we are in the true school. Into that second outside zone, look at that big angle there from Adam LZ. Jack Shanahan, good proximity. Coming now in that third outside zone. There he is. Now he's lunging forward. Lets him pass on by an outside zone 4. I'm telling you right now, this is exactly what I expected. Make some noise for LZC. Frederick Osbo will lead. Not only is he leading this run, he's also leading the points championship. Matt Field would love to Alto put him. Oh boy! Across the nose. Shots fired. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Frederick Osbo and Matt Field getting phased. What just happened there? That was insane. Frederick Osbo going across the nose, a different strategy, the Scandinavian flick, and living up to the Norwegian hammer name. Man, if Matt Field was a nail, he just hammered him down. Leave the start line. Here goes James through that start chicane. No cones are hit. We got a clean start. James Dean getting the clean air, initiates into that Pennzoil Platinum Ford Mustang. Now transitioning in that second outside zone. Rome Charpentier dives in, dives forward, a little shallow there now to outside zone 3. Settled is that Ford Mustang. Just on rails, exactly what we'd expect and anticipate. Textbook once again, Rome Charpentier here in the final 4. Dylan the Dozer Hughes will lead. Jack Shanahan giving chase. An American versus an Irish. Here we go in that first outside zone. Dylan Hughes, good and settled. Shanahan lurking back in the shadows. Comes up a bit short, but great proximity. There is that. Let's see him allow that transition from 3 to 4. Boom, right across the nose of the BMW. In outside zone 4 goes Dylan Hughes. I'm telling you, as Dylan progresses, this reminds me of somebody like Tanner Faust. As the event went on, now lead Frederick Osbo giving him chase. Frederick Osbo, again, leading the points championship. James Dean, 4-time and defending champion, leaving that start chicane. All right, that Pennzoil Ford Mustang coming into that first outside zone. Big angle from him, almost getting to the edge of that course, but that dirt will bite back. Contrary to popular belief, the gravel machine gun does hurt. Now James Dean, that Pennzoil Ultra Platinum Ford Mustang into outside zone 3. Frederick Osbo, is he mimicking that angle? Leaving it in the judge's hands, pulling across the line. Frederick Osbo spins. Lead, again, a 4-time champion, defending champion in that Pennzoil Ford Mustang. Here comes Jack Shanahan in tow in that BMW. James Dean across the nose of Shanahan. Shanahan drops back, slides back. Great angle from James Dean. Again, no tomfoolery, but Jack Shanahan dives in the inside. That is not where you want to be. Looks like he is buffering here in this situation. James Dean keeps pace. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Goes to outside zone 4. Textbook once again. Hence the name The Machine. T2, J2, because he is absolutely... James the Machine Dean gets the win. And now is tied for the points lead and making history. Second place on his Formula Drift rookie season. Make some noise for Jack Shanahan. Second place here at round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Lorette, get on in there. You always ask the great questions. But again, an Irishman, 1-2.
An Irish podium, first and second. Where are you going? Come here. He's not even, it's all right. James Dean, that was an absolutely incredible battle. My God, these fans had one of the best shows ever. How do you even put into words battling this man right here?
Honestly, as soon as it was me and Jack in the final, it felt like a practice day. I was ready for fun. I was telling my team on the radio, this is fun. This is going to be fun. I'm so proud to share Jack's first FD podium with him. I know Connor could have been here as well tonight, but it's a pleasure. I've sat in the seat with him his first ever day drifting, and to see him go from a 12-year-old little kid to what he is today, I'm just very proud, and he works hard for this, so almost makes me emotional.
Yeah, and there's so much emotion involved in this and so much history between you two. Even you are getting emotional thinking about this.
I was holding it together until he started talking. But yeah, it is a lot of emotions. We've put our whole lives to this, you know. And yeah, was fucking mad.
How long have you been dreaming about this moment?
I never thought I'd get to hold one of those carbon trophies, and I have it tonight, so I'm happy, very happy.
Jack, you did call it earlier tonight. You said you wanted one. You called it earlier today.
No, exactly. Like, I just, you know, like as James said, once we got to the final, I was in the burnout box, and I was like, we went training every Wednesday during the winter, and I was like, all those days of chasing that Mustang around the oval at home in Kerry, like, to be here in front of all these people, that's all I was thinking about. I was like, you know what? I've got the power and the grip this time compared to at home, and yeah, we just put on a show, and that's all I wanted to do tonight, and I feel like these people got a hell of a show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And James, going into Seattle all tied up, so what is the focus moving from there?
I didn't even think about Seattle. That's like a few weeks away. Yeah, we did what we dreamed of doing this weekend, which was just trying to get as many points as possible. And this sport is so just unpredictable with how good everybody is after getting that you just never know if it's going to be your day or not, no matter how good practice goes. So I just tried to take it one lap at a time and focused as good as I could. And we had a few issues. The team worked through it. The car did every single lap we needed to do on the track. And I'm just very proud of everyone at RTR keeping the Ford Mustang on track, because they did a lot of work this weekend for sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our podium. Frederick Osbo in third. Get on over here. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Shanahan in second, and your winner, James Dean.
Lorette, thank you. I'm kind of welling up because Jack, you could just read the emotions on his face, the way he's driving, and James, just always everybody elevating each other. You want to beat them, but at the end of the day, everybody won here tonight. Some great driving, just overall, from pro spec.